What's up, y'all? It's Shuffle, and today's video for Darkest Dungeon 2 is centered on some 1.0 news. This came out yesterday, and this is on the Steam page for the game. I'll link it in the description box. And it talks about some stuff to expect at 1.0. They also put out an infographic, which initially I wasn't going to cover, but now I guess I will since we have this other bit of information. So sometimes it pays to wait. So in case you don't want to read it, I will read it to you. It's not that long. Darkest Dungeon 2 releases here on Steam in just under 1 week. As of the recording of this video, it's 5 days. I am terrified, not because I think the game is going to do poorly or anything. I think it's going to do fantastic. It's more that I don't know if I can get everything done that I want to get done. So who knows, but many of you got a glimpse of the game during Next Fest. I want to send a massive thank you to those who played our demo in February and sent us feedback. Interesting part about Next Fest is out of all of the games featured, DD2 was the third most wishlisted. That's pretty crazy to think about. Number 1 was Dark and Darker, I believe, and then I forget what number 2 was. It escapes me. I know something like big though, but yeah. Based on your comments, we made a number of improvements to our driving system, the Valley, and first-time user experience, along with a huge swath of new content and features. We want to take this opportunity to discuss what you can expect on May 8th and beyond. At launch, the game will feature 12 playable characters with a complete narrative featuring 5 acts. Each act is a challenging expedition in which you assemble a party of 4 heroes and then navigate a series of deadly regions in a quest to reach the mountain, which houses an imposing end boss themed to that particular confession. So confession and act is kind of an interchangeable term. Confession's the official name for it, but a lot of people just call it acts, and it seems like Red Hook kind of defaults to that too. The final 2 acts and our blight-fueled 12th playable character, the Flagellant, will be new to our 1.0 release. You can expect to see corpse art, hero palettes, weapon kits, Radiant, and Infernal Flames. Very excited about that. Radiant was something that I think a few people in the community were really, talking about. And I know I made a couple videos pushing it, so I'm really glad they came up with something. And if you're unfamiliar with Radiant, in DD1, assuming it operates the same, Radiant was a difficulty setting that was supposed to make the game a bit easier. It still had some of its own issues, and it didn't make the game as easy as you would think, but that was the intended purpose. And if Infernal is going to be hard mode, then we can probably assume that Radiant is going to be, I guess, easy mode. I don't want to say easy because I don't want to give the connotation of, just you're less skilled because you use Radiant, but no, I mean, sometimes it's fun to just bulldoze stuff. So we'll see what it is. Achievements are also coming, and a plethora of other features on May 8th. We'll see what those are in a sec. They put out a graphic. We're not done yet either. The original Darkest Dungeon was well supported post-launch with the addition of town events, Radiant mode, and multiple new enemies. I think some of those were Wolf, the Brigand Leader, Shrieker. I want to say, yeah, okay, there's like an extra elite enemy or champion enemy that got added to each region. This is like Skyver, Squiffy Gast, Bone Bearer, and Virago. So they've added a lot of stuff, and Antiquarian. They didn't say that either, but Antiquarian was a free update, if I am not mistaken. So there's a lot of possibility for post-launch stuff that is free, as well as some DLCs. 1.0 Steam launch. Oh, our approach is the same with Darkest Dungeon 2. The 1.0 Steam launch represents a new phase of development for the game. So there was a video that I watched recently from a definitely underrated content creator named Alden Potamus, and he brought up a actually really good point. And in his video, he said that the 1.0 launch doesn't seem to necessarily be the end of, development, because obviously they have more stuff coming, but it's like his take on it, which I'm not confirming or denying, but it was definitely interesting, is that the state of the game now is what Red Hook might feel is good enough to satisfy the Epic Games contract for a 1.0 launch to get, you know, away from them. And that's an interesting way to think about it. So I will link that video as well for your viewing pleasure. And yeah, it's a good one, so check it out. But it was interesting to think about it like that, because I hadn't considered it, so I'm telling you. Let's see, where were we? Before we have a number of free updates planned. Okay, yeah. Looking forward, we have a number of free updates planned that range from content to quality of life. Very cool. We've already committed to new monsters, Collector and Gaunt Churgeon, and I talked about that in a different video. Playable hero origin skins. This sounds like it got pushed back to post-launch. They were trying to get it in before launch from the sounds of it, but it didn't happen. And of course, ongoing balance and tuning based on your feedback. And so for the hero origin skins, I know a lot of people are going, well, they're already in the game, just, you know, move them. But you have to consider too, the origin skins are like built for those encounters. They have different abilities and different animations. And I don't know anything about game development, but I'm assuming you can't just port that skin over onto the character like one for one, and you know, all the attacks and animations and stuff work perfectly. I think there's gonna have to be some changes, obviously. Modding support is also something the team is very passionate about. Modders, this is your time. As many of you know, modding has been an incredible part of the DD community, and something that we are eager to bring to DD2. So modding has given the game a lot of longevity for the first one, you know, because I mean, look at right now, we're still getting insane high quality mods like Black Reliquary, which are, you know, huge overhauls. We're getting new classes all the time, new enemies. Just, I mean, the people, or the better people get at making content for the old game, you know, the longer it lives. So it's really awesome to see that. Let's see. Yeah, so they're gonna bring modding to DD2. Got a lot of great ideas to facilitate your ability to get creative. Okay. I'm wondering what that is, besides just like opening the files up to people. Like, you know, if they do something that helps people like rig models and animations as a modding support tool, that's going to be insane. That's going to lower the barrier of entry so much. I'm not saying they're doing that. I don't know what the hell they're doing on that, but it's interesting. Hopefully, you know what would be really cool is if they do a playtest for modders, because they've done, you know, a few playtest groups over the course of early access. You know, that's how I got in. I'm in one of them. But, you know, they reached out for brand new players recently. So it'd be really interesting if they got some modders, like some of the prominent ones that want to do it, or just people who are experienced, you know, and see what they can make. That would be pretty cool. So maybe they'll do that. We'll see. Finally, we're excited to announce that our community of existing DD1 owners will be able to purchase DD2 at a discounted rate for a limited time. This is huge. They didn't have to do this, but they're doing this. You know, they're concerned that, you know, they're trying to be caring about, you know, your wallets in these troubled times, and they want you to have a lower barrier of entry, it sounds like, to playing the second game. So if you own the first game, which you can buy all the time for like $5, because it goes on these huge sales monthly at this point, you know, so you probably have it, and you can pick this up for a discount, which is nice. They haven't said what it's gonna, or what the price is gonna be yet, but that is cool to think about. Let's see. We're thrilled to be back on Steam and look forward to hearing your thoughts. For those of you who are with us for Darkest Dungeon 1's journey, you know we always read the forums and value your input. I don't know if they're talking about the Steam forums. No one should read the Steam forums. It's a cesspool of just negativity and misinformation and stuff, but who knows. Alright, so some things to talk about too before we're done with the vid is right here. As you can see, this is the infographic they put out. They're showing everything they made. I recapped a lot of this in my other video, so I'm not going to go through all of it again. You can watch my other video if you like. But yeah, so they talk about the patches and what they contained. I think Oasis came in torches and trophies, which is mysteriously absent from this list. I wonder why. They spoil. Oh my god, Red Hook. Avert thine eyes. They spoil the final boss of Act 2, Red Hook. Red Hook, you should know better. Yeah, so they go through everything, and they spoil. God! Okay, spoiler tags. I have to put a spoiler thing when I do editing, but like, they put the final bosses? It's a no-no. That's taboo, Red Hook. Alright, so we covered all the new stuff. Here's what they're confirming for 1.0. Confessions 4 and 5, Flagellant, Hero Palettes and Weapon Kits, Achievements, Faction Rebalancing. Was not expecting this at all. So it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. Ow, bit my tongue. To balance the factions, you know, because like what really needs tuning? Maybe the Shroud? The Shroud just categorically harder across the board. Hope I use categorically correctly, but just as a region, it's definitely harder than the other ones. So I wonder if they're going to bring that more in line. Or maybe they'll buff the other ones to match the Shroud. That'll be scary. Tutorial improvements. This is good because their tutorials, honestly, in the first game suck ass. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The tutorials in the first game are atrocious. That's why channels like mine have succeeded, because they break down this complex game that tells you nothing and makes it more accessible. And hopefully the tutorials are better in this one, but I think I'll still have a niche. But yeah. Post 1.0, look to the horizon, the Collector. This is the Collector's DD1 model, so don't get too excited. This is like the old picture. They try and make it look like he's in 2. Gaunt Churgeon, mod support, playable hero origin skins. They talked about that. Question marks. Oh my god, question marks. And more. Let's answer some questions. So something people have been asking about was if save transfers would be a thing. And the Red Hook Twitter confirmed that yesterday. If you purchase the game on Steam, then you'll be able to transfer your EGS save file so you can keep playing your original profile, which is cool. So if you want to ditch the EGS launcher and play on Steam because for some reason you think Steam good, Epic bad, and all that, well, now you can. It'll be there for you. Here's another one too. A lot of people were asking if they're going to wipe progress for 1.0, and they said they are not planning to. Who knows if they do, but they said they're not planning to, so that's good news. And I know something a lot of people ask is, if I bought the game on Epic, why do I have to buy it on Steam or whatever? And I really want people to think about kind of the absurdity of that request. And that is, you know, when you buy it on Epic for early access, you're there to test it, and you know, you get the full game when it's released. And Epic and Steam are two different storefronts. It makes no sense that you get it on one and then get it for free on the other. Like, are there any games you buy on Steam that guarantee that you get it for free on Epic? I can't think of one. I know Epic gives away free games, and sometimes they overlap. Like DD1 was free before DD2 came out, I think, or like right after it came out. But it's just not something stores do. Like, you don't buy a game on PlayStation and then get it for free on Xbox. That's just not how these things work. So it sucks. I understand that money's tight, and I'm not trying to shame people for, you know, wanting it on a different storefront. You know, I mean, at the worst, you can wait for a sale, because undoubtedly the game will go on sale at some point, so you can pick it up for cheap. But yeah, so just answering some things that I was thinking about, that I see, that I read a lot, because I don't always respond to my comments anymore because I get too many of them, and there's been a lot of negativity lately, and I don't want to read that or respond to it anyway. But you know, since I read it and it pops up and stuff, or people point it out to me, then may as well talk about it a little bit. So that's it for the video. There's your news update, and I will be streaming the hell out of this game. I'm still working on videos, that's why I haven't been streaming, and I'm hoping that everything goes okay. That's all I'm hoping for. So thanks for watching, thanks for sticking it out. We're almost there. Oh, it's so exciting. Like I've just been like, my heart rate's been elevated the entire morning because I'm thinking about like how we're only 5 days away. It's gonna go fast. Yeah. All right, that's it. Join Discord if you want updates. And if you want to support the channel, check out the links in the box. And I'll see you next time.